What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. We all probably have heard this song before because we've heard it in the hilarious movie A Night at the Roxbury. It's a song by an artist named Hathaway, and it's an amazing song that many of us can relate to because when we think about love, often we associate it with a time where we have felt this angst or this emotional connection that's crazy and it hurts. But one thing that if you really listen to the lyrics of this song and the truth of the lyrics of this song, it speaks to the fact that love should never hurt. Love should never hurt. But often, because of the way that we have learned to associate with love, we have learned to become used to it hurting us. I've been doing a lot of self-exploration and self-development, and I've been going back lately into listening to music from the 80s and the 90s because that's when I was a child, in the 80s and the 90s. And so I've been exploring a lot of classic rock. I've been listening to a lot of alternative music. I've been listening to a lot of old R&B. And a lot of it is love songs. And I love all of those songs. There's so many lyrics that I connect to. One of the songs that I remember from my childhood, and it's like you can remember songs and you're just like, how do I remember all the lyrics to this song? But I can't remember what was on my grocery list. But anyway, one song that I remember the lyrics to is this song that goes, I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been something you said, right? And so when we think about love, a lot of it has to do with the painful parts. A lot of it has to do with the way that it makes us feel. But love, in terms of how it's defined, if you look at religious texts, if you look at the way that we express love in terms of images, you see a heart. Those are all positive things. So why is it when we go back and listen to a lot of song lyrics, there's often a lot of pain involved, a lot of hurt involved in love? My partner and I actually wanted to explore more our own love and our own relationship. And so about a year and a half ago, we made a decision for a few months that we would be celibate, right? And when most of us think about love and being in a relationship, one of the perks of being in a relationship is that you do have sexual attraction to your partner and you're able to have a sexual relationship with your partner. So if that's the case, when you are celibate, what does that say about your love and your relationship? Well, honey, we learned so much from that experience. I'll speak personally. I learned that there's so much more to what I thought was love. I think for me, the way that I had previously experienced love, it was sort of like a watered down version, right? A materialistic version of love. I thought love was all about whether someone made me feel crazy inside and super like passionate, like a roller coaster ride and all these crazy feelings. And it was about the love that we made and all of this. And that is part of it. But when you take that aspect out, when you take the sexual part out of love, what is it? Well, I learned that love is about vulnerability. Love is about what you're willing to share with someone else about yourself. your innermost parts, if you can trust someone enough to be vulnerable with them, well, that speaks so much to how much love you have built with that person. If you can open up to someone and share your fears with someone, and share the things that you are most challenged by with someone, that is love. I learned that the strength of our partnership, the strength of our love came from our conversations. The fact that we were able to truly hold space for each other and listen. When you're able to do that, love is beautiful. Love is about laughter and whether you're able to bring joy to each other's lives. Love is about collaboration and what you're able to do together as a couple to create amazing things in the world. One of the couples I admire the most are the Obamas, because they are an amazing example of what you can bring together, come together to collaborate and create to make the world a better place. That is love. And it also made me super reflective in that time on how much my childhood had truly affected my perception of love. Whether it's the music that we listen to or what we see from our parents, we as children develop these very specific ideas of what love is. If you look at a child when they're young, when they're maybe 2 to 6 years old, it's very easy for children to look at each other with love. They build friendships quickly. They go to the park and find people to play with quickly. It is only until you start to get older, right, that you start to have more challenges to show love. And that is because of the things that you experience as a child that take away from your natural ability to love, that show you that instead of giving your love effortlessly, we must be more fearful and hold back. My parents, for example, were my first true example of what a loving relationship was like. Of course, they didn't intend to, but they showed me through their own actions that love was about arguing and anger. It was unhealthy. And because I learned this, when I started to get into relationships, I gravitated towards what was familiar for me. And just because something is familiar for you, honey, does not mean it's healthy. So I had a lot of unhealthy, familiar feeling relationships. My mom used to have this saying, better safe than sorry. And I heed that advice, especially as a child, but it always sort of bothered me a bit, because better safe than sorry means that if I stay safe and I never venture outside of my comfort zone, I never tell someone I care about them, I never tell someone something that may scare me but may help them, right? If I never take risks, I'll never be sorry. I'll never have regret. But honey, that's not living life. That's not allowing yourself to feel all the joy of love, all the beauty of love. And when we think about love and all the lyrics that we hear, it's important to think about how we have been affected. Because when we listen to music, We're interpreting it based on our own experiences, just like every relationship that we have. We're only able to give love in the way that we can understand our own love to ourselves. The love that we have, the loving relationships that we have is a reflection of the relationships that we have with ourselves, the love that we give to ourselves. And it took me so long to realize that. If I didn't have any love for myself, how could I have a healthy relationship with someone else? If I grew up thinking that love was supposed to hurt, that love was supposed to be about arguing, that what love was unhealthy, how could I have a healthy, flourishing relationship with another person? Sometimes you have to go back, honey. You have to go back. You have to revisit your own love story. I had to revisit my own love story in many ways. And one way that I have been revisiting my love story lately is with friendships. One thing that I have observed about myself is while I can be in long-term relationships, it's really hard for me to develop new friendships as an adult. And I had to go back into my childhood and I had to explore that love song. I had to look at that friendship love song. I had to explore my mom's heating statement of better safe than sorry. I had to look at my relationships from a perspective of how I was raised with my parents to understand all of that. And you know what I figured out? I figured out that I was holding back. And I was holding back because of the past trauma that I experienced with friendships. I was holding back because I learned at some point that if I put myself out there, I got hurt. So I stopped putting myself out there. I learned that when I came out to people, a lot of people stopped being my friend. So I held back that information. I learned that when I was struggling financially and needed help, a lot of people didn't want to hear it. So I lost those friendships. And when you start to lose friendships or you start to lose lovers, and you start to feel vulnerable and you start to feel alone, you start to sing that love song. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. And that starts to be the story of how you interact with love. And I had to really challenge myself to realize that I was carrying fear. And a lot of us carry fear. And instead of being outgoing and loving and super kind to people, we operate from a place of fear. We operate from a place of protection. We operate from a place of better safe than sorry. So I'm not going to put myself out there. So I'm not going to tell this person I love them. So I'm not going to give my all in this relationship because it's easier to be safe than sorry. That way, no one can hurt me. I had to learn through revisiting my past about all the trauma that I was carrying that I needed to release, that I needed to really understand and heal from. And only then could I start to rewrite my love song. Only then could I come to terms with the fact that love is never supposed to hurt. Love is supposed to inspire. Love is supposed to inspire. Let me say that one more time. Love is supposed to inspire. So today, I want to challenge you to look at your own love life. Look at your love life with yourself. Look at your love life with your friends. Look at your love life with your family. Look at your love life with your partner. And ask yourself, are you loving in a way that is better safe than sorry? Ask yourself, how is your love inspiring you? And how is your love inspiring others? And then, because we're talking about lyrics today, I want you to think about your own love song to yourself. If you went through your life and thought about what lyrics you would write to yourself about your own relationship with love, would that be a happy song full of joyful lyrics? Or would that be a sad song full of pain? I want you to really sit with that and be honest with yourself. Now, if it's a happy song full of joyful lyrics about your own relationship with love, honey, that is a beautiful thing. And I encourage you to share that song with others and inspire them. But if it's a sad song, I encourage you to ask yourself why it's sad and revisit those parts of your life, because we have to revisit to listen, to understand, and heal so we can let go and write a new chapter, write a new love song. You can write a new love song about your life that inspires you. You can change your life because you can ask those hard questions about love. And you can define what love means to you. It all starts right here inside with you. Have a fabulous, awesome, amazing, love-inspired day. I thank you so much for listening. If this resonated with you, please leave me a comment. Please share this video. This is day 25 of my speeches, and I'm so pumped about it. And I thank you so much for listening. Have an awesome, beautiful day. And remember, be the love always.